Marketing has evolved. In 1995, marketing was planned. You set up your marketing campaign for the year, they started, they ended. You went from one to the next. TV, radio, magazines, newspapers. But now in 2020, Facebook, ever-changing, creating contact on a daily basis. You need to publish it, monitoring and engagement, comments on Twitter streams that need to be attended to, making sure that the person responsible for responding to social platforms does it with the right tone and voice. It's never ending. In 2004, Facebook starts an innovative new social media platform. The domain name YouTube was activated on the 14th of February 2005 with a video upload integrated in April. Twitter was designed in 2006 by Evan Williams. In fact, Jack Dorsey, who was the co-founder, sent the first message on Twitter on March 21st, 2006. WhatsApp was founded in 2009 by Brian Acton and Jan Koum, who were actually former employees of Yahoo. Instagram, photo and video sharing, social networking services owned by Facebook. It was created by Kevin and Mike and was launched in October 2010. Let me give you some facts of users in Mozambique. There are 5.36 million internet users in Mozambique as of January 2020. The number of internet users in Mozambique increased 439,000, that's 8% between 2019 and 2020. Internet penetration in Mozambique stood at 17% as of January 2020. Social media users in Mozambique. There are 2.5 million social media users in Mozambique, January 2020. The number of social media users increased by 368,000 in 1 year. Social media penetration stood at 8% in January. Mobile connection in Mozambique. There are 15.3 million users in Mozambique as of January 2020. That gives you a huge amount of people using social media. The number of connections increased 842,000 in a period of 1 year. And the number of connections in Mozambique was equivalent to 50% of the total population. 50% of the total population in Mozambique has internet and uses social media. Social media marketing. People access their entire digital life via the single device, a phone. It's always close to you and you're always checking it constantly. Social media marketing refers to the marketing via social media sites which are independent and commercial online communities in which people engage with one another, socialize and exchange views and information. Social media links people and is direct. It's interactive, educational, informative and current. For any size of its organization, if you've got a small size organization or a large size organization, and in this terms we're going to be talking about commercial buildings that use social marketing sites to promote the product, which is leasing of apartments or offices, for example. And as well, we use the social media marketing to keep customers brand loyal to the brand. Let's look at Mozambique's social media platforms specifically, 5 of the social media platforms that work in Mozambique. Facebook has over 2.6 billion active users of the first quarter of 2020. In fact, Facebook is the biggest network worldwide, and in Mozambique we have 2.448 million users. Instagram has reached 1 billion monthly active users, and in Mozambique you have 287,500 at the moment, which is quite a substantial platform to use. Pinterest reported having 322 million monthly active users worldwide, and it's a photo album that you can post, quite impressive as well. Twitter, as of the first quarter of 2019, there were 330 million users, active users, and you can post your tweets on Twitter. And of course, WhatsApp. WhatsApp is one of the most powerful, but it's not as powerful as Facebook in Mozambique. We have 15.3 million mobile users in Mozambique, and all of them are active on WhatsApp. You can post your stories, as you know, your photos, adverts. It's quite remarkable if you've got 15 million users.
Let's look at the positives to start off with social media. And the basic packages, it's free, so therefore it's cost effective. It builds awareness and brand loyalty. And this has got proven statistics, even with this entity that we're busy looking at the moment. And it influences customer behavior in their decision making. It engages the target audience, and customers can exchange ideas on these different forums, such as Facebook. It builds stronger customer relationships. And you can actually gain data research from the social media platforms, which is extremely important. And obviously, it's faster to achieve results. Instead of printed media, or you print it in the newspaper or in a magazine, and it takes a little bit longer. Whereas social media, it's instantaneous, and it can go viral very, very quickly. Let's look at what the issues are in this entity. And working on multiple channels from Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, WhatsApp, it takes resources, it takes a lot of time, and investment is needed. And with this entity, which is a small entity, time is an issue because you need to be creative, you need to have inspiration, you need to have quality content every single day, and that takes skill and experience. And you need to engage your audience by posting the right content. You need technology and tools, and especially in this entity, tools are critical. So that's definitely one of the issues, that they're doing everything manually, so tools need to be looked at. And what makes this a little bit more difficult for this entity is they need to develop material and content that is bilingual, Portuguese, English, and sometimes other languages as well, but predominantly Portuguese and English. This entity has built some followers, and they need to understand the changing needs of the audience. So you need time to understand those needs. And this is done on a constant basis, and you need to measure and evaluate. And again, tools could assist this entity, which are not being used effectively at the moment. An effective social media strategy for each platform needs to be developed. At the moment, they have a marketing strategy, but they don't have a specific social media strategy for each platform, and that's required. And the entity needs to be cognizant of ethical issues, mishandling of consumer data. Not that they are, but I think it's something that constantly needs to be looked at, and poorly managing access to it by a third party. You have other people that have access to those sites, and that needs to be managed properly. So let's look at the challenges and recommendations for this specific entity. And the first one was lack of sufficient time to create interesting content, getting stuck and not being able to come up with new great ideas in time, because social media moves at a very fast pace, and you need to be inspired every single day. A recommendation is to be organized, prepare updates ahead of time, getting posts approved quickly, and ensuring content that can be used. Genuine audience engagement is required. Further, I would suggest analyzing what options they have for tools that can create and post automatically. A detailed ROI analysis needs to be undertaken, and what tools can be used, as tools are not free. They need to be flexible, as social media is forever changing and technology is even updating. So they need to be on top of this. They need to be following market changes through research, which is key to success. It's important to allocate resources and time for the development of skills that are relevant to digital marketing. It's important to understand the cost, the reliability, flexibility, and effectiveness of each platform, with tools available to strategically review and analyze and post automatically, possibly even a tool that translates automatically, for example, from English to Portuguese, which is one of their big time-consuming factors. And this entity should adjust their search engine optimization strategy. Targeting the right platforms and audience for maximum engagement. It's important to understand who your audience is and what they want to see, and how to measure and evaluate the return on investment. What I can suggest to this entity is target markets are vital to understand, so know your audience. But getting more followers on social media is one of the biggest challenges, as they are getting future clients. So recommendations to follow accounts to get more followers, and tracking how customers in different segments behave in different scenarios and circumstances, with setting up analytics to track performance. Content that is informative and engages the audience is important. Collaborating with partners such as other tenants, and use tools such as ClueHawk that identifies the right people to follow. Monitor algorithms on different platforms, and tracking how customers in different segments behave in different scenarios and circumstances. Again, with setting up analytics to track performance is critical. And as I said, the entity needs to keep up with the constant changes and trends. So another key challenge that we found was aligning social media strategies throughout the different departments, which is important, so that you have the same message and goals that align to be able to measure the rate of return on the investment. So a detailed digital marketing plan will provide the focus and direction that will define the digital channel strategy for each platform, and a hierarchy of plans for different activities. Consumer behavior in purchasing decisions is highly prone to community recommendations. Currently, the entity has a general marketing plan, and therefore a specific detailed social media strategy needs to be developed with SMART goals. Look at the numbers to see where your leads are coming from is one of the things that I would suggest. When and how they convert and what types of content produce to produce the greatest returns. From there, they can determine what to tweak for the best possible performance and what to discard or modify. And definitely consider both quantitative and qualitative metrics. Quantitative factors are more concrete and easier to measure, for example, optimal time of day and the character count. And the qualitative factors are more abstract, for example, the subject matter and tone, and can be a bit more tricky to measure accurately, but important to evaluate both. So let's look at ethics and privacy. It's important to pay attention to ethical issues in the social media content, which includes privacy. This will show, in fact, that the brand is trustworthy. It's important to have a privacy policy on the site, and currently this entity does not have that, so that's important. Transparency is important, so that the message is clear and informative. Should not be changed to fit the needs, and promises should not be made if they cannot be kept, and I think that's important. It's important not to spam. So once per day is enough for a post, and then interact with the followers, not multiple posts that turn into spam. And it's important to have clever and honest headlines, avoid controversy and all political statements bring the wrong attention. And because politics is such a big issue in Mozambique, it's really important to keep neutral on this point. And certainly don't create fear. For example, it's important to be tactful. Don't say only that this building is the safest. Don't use language or images that may make someone feel uncomfortable. And I think that's important as well. And if reporting statistics, it's important to cite them and the original study, where it came from. If you're quoting a quote from somebody, and that brings on to plagiarizing. If it's anyone else's article or advert or fax or even a photograph, which is used a lot, it's important to reference it. And I think that this entity needs to focus on that.
Social media marketing is changing marketing dynamics, and each entity needs to be able to adapt and change. As the social media is a powerful marketing platform that offers diverse opportunities with proven results, that has allowed easy interaction and connectivity, fast information sharing, and easy creation, publications, and editing. Social media marketing has influenced the way marketers operate and affects marketing practices on a strategic and a tactical level, presenting challenges as we've seen. Social media as a marketing tool is not an isolated process, but rather the final step of a consistent strategic effort to improve a service. Business executives regularly post on their blogs, encouraging customers to interact and freely express their feelings, ideas, suggestions, remarks. A good example is Steve Jobs of CEO Apple Computers. He does this, and politicians have also realized how powerful social media platform is, and direct communication, which is of course important to understand that you need a code of conduct. Privacy is important, policies and ethical constraints need to be adhered to. So in summary, to react and develop to all these overall changes, it's important not only for this organization, but possibly a majority of entities that use social media platforms to be cognizant of the following facts. It's important to set clear goals for the social media strategy. And let me repeat that. The social media strategy is important on its own. That'll cover customer service, engaging customers, generating leads, expanding your audience, driving sales, increasing web traffic, and of course, gaining valuable insight. This particular entity knows their audience that are predominantly expatriates in the high income earning and multinationals in Maputo. Therefore, they need to make sure that the content reflects the needs of these customers and sharing and engaging their followers. To choose the right network is important. Facebook in this regard and WhatsApp are the leaders. So it's best to focus on 1 or 2 or 3 channels and not try all the channels. So that's important, and maintain a constant presence. Social media applications must be backed by the resources and capabilities in the organization and in the marketing department. And in this organization, it was definitely lacking. So I think it's something that's really important that most organizations look at this and give them the right resources.
it's quite important to select the tools that schedule and give you automated posts. It's going to help with the efficiency. So staying active and present on social media takes time. Staying active and present on social media takes time and dedication, but there are plenty of automation tools available that you can use to automatically publish posts and schedule posts up to a month in advance, which is critical. And I believe it's so important to factor this into your strategy and budget, of course. So, and it's also important to watch the right metrics to monitor progress. So it's important to actively engage your audience in relevant ways, and really important for this entity, absolutely, as they are just posting and you could say just walking away. So social media is about connection and engagement, and it's the only way you can foster a relationship, and you want to build and gain trust with your audience. So I think these are good learning points, and I'd like to thank you for taking the time to listen to this video. Thank you.